Imagine opening your eyes tomorrow morning and realizing you will never need sleep again. Not tonight, not next year, not for the rest of your life. No exhaustion, no yawning, no 8-hour interruption every single day. Just endless wakefulness. At first, it sounds like the greatest upgrade humanity has ever imagined. 8 extra hours every single day. That is nearly 1/3 more life. More money, more learning, more adventures, more time with the people you love. It almost sounds too perfect. But history has taught us something strange. The things we believe are limitations often turn out to be the invisible foundations keeping civilization together. Because sleep is not simply something we do. It is something that shapes who we are. So, what if one day humans no longer needed sleep? Would civilization become unstoppable?
Or would we slowly lose something much more valuable than time? Let's find out.
The first weeks would feel like a miracle. Factories would never stop. Hospitals could operate around the clock without rotating exhausted staff. Scientists would gain thousands of extra research hours every year. Students could master entire languages in months. Businesses would double their operating hours overnight. Traffic jams would almost disappear, simply because people would spread themselves across all 24 hours. Rush hour might stop existing. The global economy would explode. Imagine adding 8 extra working hours to billions of people. That's trillions of additional productive hours every single year. Companies would compete to stay open forever. The phrase business hours would become meaningless. Even entertainment would change. Movie theaters, gyms, restaurants, shopping malls.
Everything would stay alive. All day, every day. Cities would never truly become quiet again. The night would no longer belong to silence. But something unexpected would happen. Darkness would lose its purpose. For thousands of years, night has forced humanity to pause. Families gathered together because there was nothing else to do. Friends talked, people reflected, children listened to stories. Entire cultures were built around evenings. Without sleep, night becomes just another work shift. The stars would still shine, but fewer people would ever stop to look at them. Our lives would slowly become one endless stream of activity. No beginning, no ending, just constant motion.
Ironically, having more time might leave us feeling like we have less of it. Because without natural pauses, life begins to blur together. Here's something even stranger. If we never slept, we would never dream again. Dreams have inspired some of humanity's greatest discoveries. Artists, scientists, writers, musicians. Many claimed their greatest ideas arrived while dreaming. Our brains don't simply shut down during sleep. They reorganize memories, process emotions, connect unrelated ideas. Sometimes, the impossible combinations created inside dreams become tomorrow's greatest inventions. Remove dreams, and creativity itself might slowly begin to fade. We might become more efficient, but less imaginative. Smarter, yet somehow less inspired. Relationships would change in ways nobody expects. Imagine one partner choosing to work every night. The other chooses hobbies. Someone else studies. Another travels. There is no bedtime anymore. No shared routine. No moment where two people simply end the day together. Those quiet conversations before sleep often become the deepest moments couples ever share. Parents reading bedtime stories, children falling asleep in someone's arms, late-night conversations with best friends. These moments exist because sleep creates endings. Without endings, many of life's most meaningful rituals disappear. Ironically, having unlimited time could make us spend less time together.
Soon, governments would face impossible questions. Should companies expect employees to work 16 hours? 20? If nobody becomes tired, where do labor rights begin and end? Would people need 2 jobs? 3? Could schools become 16-hour institutions? Would retirement happen later, since everyone now experiences 1/3 more waking life? The gap between rich and poor might actually grow larger. Some people would use the extra time to build businesses. Others would simply work longer hours to survive. Time itself would become the world's most valuable currency.
But perhaps the biggest change would happen inside our minds. Sleep doesn't only restore the body, it separates yesterday from today. Each morning feels like a fresh beginning. Without sleep, there are no mornings anymore, just continuous consciousness. Imagine living through weeks without ever experiencing a true reset. Memories would pile together, stress would accumulate differently. Even our perception of time could begin to change. Days might feel shorter, months might disappear. Without feeling like separate chapters, life might become strangely flat.
Here's the biggest question. If humans no longer slept, would we still be human? Or would we become something else entirely? Sleep has shaped civilization since the beginning. Every culture, every religion, every family, every childhood, all organized around the simple act of closing our eyes. Take that away, and you're not simply removing sleep. You're rewriting what it means to live.
Maybe sleep was never a flaw in human design. Maybe it was the feature, the pause between chapters, the silence between songs, the darkness that gives meaning to light. Because life isn't meaningful simply because it lasts longer. It's meaningful because it has rhythm. Because every ending makes tomorrow feel like a new beginning. So, if one day humans never needed sleep, we might gain thousands of extra hours. But we could lose the very thing that makes those hours worth living. The next time you lie down, instead of thinking of sleep as lost time, think of it as one of the greatest gifts evolution ever gave us. Because sometimes, the most powerful part of life is knowing when to close your eyes.